Hey, hi everyone. I'm back with a new video for same topic. Yesterday, previous video we discussed about electrostatics or electric charges and fields. And for this all yesterday, all previous video, all things about only introduction of electrostatics or electric charges and fields. Before going to start, I want to say something with you. Please, students, don't waste your time. It's the right time to study yourself. These all studies for your success. If you waste your time, definitely you will be face your lot of problems for further years. If you work hard, definitely everything will be success. Okay? I strongly believe that one word, one statement, that is, everything will be okay at the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Okay now? So, shall we start? So, shall I start? I'm going to start the lesson about electrostatics, very important topic. Now we are going to enter into the lesson. Main concept which is starting with this topic, Coulomb's law. Okay, Coulomb's law is said that Coulomb is a scientist's name. He was invented charge. That's why he given one relation about Coulomb's law, or we may call inverse square law. For this relation, before going to discuss about this topic, we will recap our previous year, what we have learned in the first year, what it is, we have to learn it and we have to recap it. That is, in the gravitation lesson, it is a very useful lesson for this topic. In the gravitation lesson, we have already studied about two masses are separated certain distance. Two masses are separated certain distance, and for suppose I am taking M1 and M2 masses. These two masses are separating certain distance, and what is the force developed between two masses? That relation they given that F is directly proportional to product of two masses. Already we learned and we already solved this one. Again we are repeating because this complete concept is related to or compared to this topic. I will tell you. F is directly proportional to M1 into M2. Next, one more condition, which is F is inversely proportional to 1 by R square. F is inversely proportional to 1 by R square. If you write this combined equation, F is directly proportional to M1 M2 by R square. So F is equals to, if you remove proportionality constant, F is equals to G into M1 M2 by R square. This is relation about force. Always I said you in the previous year, M1 M2 nothing but every mass can be developed one force. If two masses being like this, nothing but if two masses are developing one force between these two bodies, how much force it is developing we have to know, which means the given relation, the product of masses and square of radius, which is inversely proportional. That is very important. Same process, the given relation in a gravitation lesson. So same concept will be applicable to these things about charges. Now we are entering into the charges. These charges in this lesson completely we are discussing about charges. So what is the difference about charges and masses? Remember few points about electric field and charges. Previous video I already told you, all like charges, nothing but all plus or minus. Plus or minus always repulse each other. Okay now, all like charges, plus, minus, always repulse each other. But all unlike charges, plus minus, these are unlike charges because one plus, one minus. Unlike charges will be attractive each other. So this is one point. Next one, what is the difference between mass and charge? That is, always mass carries only matter, quantity of matter. It doesn't have charges. But without mass they cannot have charge. every charge should be carries mass. In the starting video, I told you what is the definition of charge. That is, the charge is a property of matter. Charge is a property of matter means matter is nothing but it is a mass. Always charge carries mass. Charge carries mass, but mass doesn't have charges. May or may not. It is not compulsory. May or may not. But everywhere charges carries mass. So this is very common difference between mass and charges. The relation of this one compared to this relation, gravitation relation, Coulomb's law or inverse square law will says that is, see, read one time this definition. The force of attraction or repulsion between two stationary charges is directly proportional to product of charges. Product of charges. Nothing but the force of attraction or repulsion depends on charges. Either both are positive, they will repulse each other. Either both are unlike charges, they will attract each other. Okay, that the relation they given, F is directly proportional to Q1, Q2. Let's say about two charges. I am taking two charges. This is Q1 and this is Q2. These two charges are separating some r distance. For suppose, F is directly proportional to Q1, Q2. That we given according to definition, they given F, the force of attraction or repulsion between two stationary charges of is directly proportional to product of charges. Here one condition is there, stationary. Stationary nothing but completely the Coulomb's law will applicable only rest position charges only. It is not moving charges. We will discuss later. But this is F is directly proportional to Q1, Q2. And one more condition is also there. And is inversely proportional to the square of distance. The square of distance between them. Is inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. Which is F is directly or inversely proportional to square of distance. See, compare these equations, two equations. What is the difference? These are masses here. These are charges here. Which are attractive or repulsive we will discuss later. But the common relation is there only. Only masses are different. And I told you what is the difference between mass and charges. Okay, if you write this equation in one form of equation, F is directly proportional to Q1 Q2 by R square. Q1 Q2 by R square. If you remove the proportionality constant, F is equals to one constant we have to write, which is K into Q1 Q2 by R square. Here K is nothing but it's a proportionality constant. For this proportionality constant, we have a one definition, that is K is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. This is the value for K. This we have to remember this one. What is epsilon naught? We will discuss it. I am going to rub this gravitation topic. So see here, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Here epsilon naught is nothing but it is a permittivity of free space. Permittivity of free space. In the free space means it is a vacuum. In vacuum, how the charges are moving in the system. If it is medium, the epsilon naught will be changes. Okay now? Next, the value of epsilon naught also there is a one constant, that is 8.85 into 10 to the power of minus 8 minus 12 Coulomb square by Newton's meter square. Coulomb square by Newton's meter square. This is epsilon naught value. If you substitute epsilon naught value, pi is we know 3.14. 4 also constant. If you did this all solvation equation, the resultant formula will come F is equals to 9 into 10 to the power of 9. 9 into 10 to the power of 9. And what about this relation? Q1 Q2 by R square. This is very important relation about force. This complete force relation will give entire force acting between two charges. Okay na? Very important relation. by using of this formula, we can tackle competitive exam problems. Number of exam problems are asking based on this equation. Directly formula, by solving this problem, this one is useful, or by writing equation, this one useful. One F is equals to K into Q1 Q2 by R square. But we need direct value, that's why I wrote it like this. 9 into 10 to the power of 9 Q1 Q2 by R square. Okay, now this is Coulomb's force. Okay, the force acting or the force developed between two charges, which is F is equals to 9 into 10 to the power of 9 Q1 Q2 by R square. What is the units of force? What is the units of force? Tell me. Which is newtons. Which is newtons. The formula is different. In the first year we have a different formula. F is equals to ma. That's why we wrote newtons. Whatever formula it is, but every physical quantity, remember one point, every physical quantity having only one unit, that is force is one of the physical quantity, always it is carries only one units, which is newtons. It's never be changes. Okay now, F is equals to newtons, and if you know that it is a vector quantity, there is a particular direction. Okay, this is about inverse square law, or we may call Coulomb's law. This is very important relation. Next about, just wait a minute, I will write something. Okay, next one, Coulomb's law. Limitations of Coulomb's law. This law is not applicable for all charges. There is some conditions. We have two valid conditions, which is, first one, this law can applicable only for point charges. This law can applicable only for point charges. Nothing but if you take one sphere carries more than one charges. That's why it is Q1, Q2 number of charges are in the sphere. Of course, if you take one more sphere, which is carries again Q2, Q3 something, or for suppose I am taking like this. It is not applicable for like this kind of number of charges of material. It is compulsory applicable for only point charges. That matter should be carries only one point charge. That's why only this law will valid for only point charges. Okay now, this one about limitations of Coulomb's law. Next one, this law is valid for only stationary charges or static charges. I told you in the beginning of lesson, always in this lesson we are discussing about only static charges only. If it is moving, for suppose I am taking one charge Q1 and Q2. If moving like this, whenever the charge is moving, always moving charges will give magnetic field, also electric field and magnetic field. Charge definition is, charge is a property of matter which can produce electric field, as well as simultaneously moving charges will give magnetic field. The relation of effective force is equal to, we know that electric field whenever it is static position, and plus F into ME, because ME nothing but Fm nothing but it is a magnetic force. If it is moving charges, always develop magnetic force. So that's why it is not valid for moving charges. It is only, this law is valid for only static charges. Why we are discussing about always force? Why it is force? Because we know this, all repulsive or like charges always develop one force which is repulsive, always trying to move away. Okay, all unlike charges moving towards each other. Okay now, which means some of force attracting to each other. That's why the two charges are coming closer. And if to take like charges only that are moving away, which means the repulsive force acting between two charges, that's why always it moves away. Okay now, this is about applications or limitations of Coulomb's law. This law is applicable for only point charges, and this law is valid for only static charges. Next one, wait a minute, I will write on the board. Next, see here, Coulomb's law in vector formation. which direction it is moving and which direction it is carries. We need what is the direction, because force is always carries particular direction. That's why we have to know what is the Coulomb's law in vector formation. So first suppose I am taking one diagram here. Q1 and Q2 charges are separated like this. I am comparing from origin point from certain distance. The Q1 is carries R1 distance and Q2 is carries R2 distance from origin. Okay. So now the direction of Q1, Q2 due to effect by this one like this, and this one also moving away from like this. The effective force of distance is from Q1 to Q2, that is going to like this. Okay. Okay now, first suppose let me explain. First suppose I am taking Q1 and Q2 charges. Q1 and Q2 charges. These two charges are separating from R distance. Okay, from R distance to Q1, Q2 R charges are separating R distance. So let Q1, the force acting on Q1 due to Q2, because this one developed one force, this one developed one force. So the force acting on Q1 due to Q2, the force acting on Q1 due to Q2. Okay, force acting Q1 due to Q2. That equation we can write in the direction of force, which will like this: F1 2. The force acting on Q1 due to Q2. The way of writing, the force of way of writing formula is this one. Similarly, the force acting Q2 on Q2 due to Q1, which means the direction of this one like this: F21. Here F12 nothing but the force acting on 1 due to Q2 charge, the force acting on 2 due to Q1 charge. That's why the direction is like this. What is the effective direction formula is, that is on Q1 due to this one. Therefore F is equals to, or F12 is equal to, same formula if we wrote that, 9 into 10 to the power of 9 Q1 Q2 by R square, that is R12 square, that is R12 unit vector. Why it is unit vector? Nothing but we are denoting particular direction, which direction it is moving. Always unit vector denotes particular direction. The magnitude is 1 for unit vector, but particular one direction it is carries. So that's why I wrote like this formula in the vector formation. Or we can write it this formula: 1 by 9 into 10 to the power of 9 Q1 Q2 by R12 cube into R12 bar. Okay now, I wrote the definition of unit vector, that is definition of unit vector is equals to R bar by magnitude of R. Okay, R bar by magnitude of R bar. R. So that's why R bar and R bar into R square. R bar into R square nothing but R cube. So the resultant formula, force acting on Q1 due to Q2 becomes like this. Similarly, same force acting on Q2 due to Q1. The formula, effective force formula, F21 bar is equal to 9 into 10 to the power of 9 Q1 Q2 by R21 square into R21 cap. Why it is unit vector? Because we need particular direction, that's why I wrote like this. Or we can write it this equation: 9 into 10 to the power of 9 Q1 Q2 by R21 cube into R21 bar. Okay, this is vector formation is very important to develop the direction of force between two charges Q1 Q2, and how it is force acting on Q1, how it is force acting on Q2 due to neighbor charges. Okay na? So this is about complete Coulomb's law of vector formation, and the previous topic also we discussed Coulomb's law formula. This is completely today video. Okay, students, please listen carefully and write it clearly notes, and follow the steps very easily. If any doubts, please mention comment in the YouTube. I will rectify the problem. If anything problem with this video, by making this video any problem, please mention comment in YouTube. I will definitely rectify and come back with purified. Okay now? Thank you for watching video.